No, bump it up. You got to bump it up, but don't you know? Bump
All
it
right.
up. By the way, so I'm at the bar watching USA versus Iran.
Iran?
No, see, here's the thing. I actually have friends who are Iranian, so I appreciate them actually trying to get a good enunciation in. Like my fiance is, her name is Laura. That's her name. It is not Laura. It is Laura. It is Laura. LAU is Lau. RA is Ra. So her name is Laura. But everyone calls her Laura. And I call her Lada because I'm just terrible. I turn into a D because I'm an awful person. But anyway. But I'm at the game and I'm watching, and the entire time I'm thinking to myself, the United States has the worst chance in international soccer.
I believe that we can win.
No, here's the thing. That's not a bad chance.
Did you get the it's called soccer chant on the did you hear that one?
That's what I'm saying. It's just the dork level. Like, America can't tell you it's not a soccer nation enough. Like, it can't. It wants you to know it. Like, it revels in the fact that it has a little bit of idea what it's doing, but not really as much as everyone else in the room. Like, it's the one kid who's like playing basketball who just learned the sport 4 days ago. Like, he's still kind of good at it because like naturally he's talented, but he's like, I have no idea what a 3-point line is. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but I'm really happy to be here.
It's got a beat and a clap, and then the rest.
It's just like British supporters like know songs that they've been singing that their dad taught them in like 1814, and it's just like, this is the official song that we've been singing for decades upon decades, and we know every lyric to it. It's like a 12 minute song, and America has we have 6 bars, and that's it. And
or it's like some guy researched about one of the players and was like, his fiance's sister's brother assaulted a child. Let's chant about that.
That's all we got. No, and then it's just look, I'm not gonna be real with you. The national anthem is kind of dull. Our anthem is kind of like
the French national anthem.
Slaps.
Oh my God! Look at the translation. If you've never looked up the French translation or the English translation of the French national anthem, go look that up.
It is fucking. No, also Italy. Watching those people absolutely scream their anthem every time they play sports is always a pleasure. So, America, we're boring.
Yeah.
That we are. We're a boring country. I don't know if I have to be the person to tell everyone we're a boring ass nation. Like, all that evangelical conservatism that runs parts of this country has made us really all these Quakers and all these things that started this country. We're boring. We don't have any soul. We need more pizzazz. Anyway, how you doing, Devin?
I'm great. It's been a whole month since we recorded this podcast.
Has it?
And we're just going intro list today.
No, intros are for people who want to do something polished. I'm not sure that's what we're trying to do today.
The last time we recorded a podcast, it was game 5 of the World Series. One of those.
I think it was game 4 because I still remember having precious optimism in my heart.
Yes.
I remember feeling anything was possible.
We were building up to a MLS Cup, and it was great times.
Oh man, I see. Here's the thing, Devin. I hadn't really. Me and Devin had a long discussion even before we had that lovely cold open that we just had. But I was just like, I didn't tell him about I haven't stopped crying yet when I think about it for long periods of time. So I'm pretty sure at some point in this pod, I'm just going to have a tearied moment. So this is going to be fun. I can't wait to have this one. This is going to be, my enemies are going to find this pod one day and use this against me. I'm really excited about that.
Well, I'm going to use this poor transition to go to the bathroom. So
yes, go now. Go USA.
All right, so we're back here. So yes, it's been a while since we recorded.
It's been a while.
We have a ton to go. It's been a hot minute.
It's been a while. the hottest of minutes.
And we're gonna reminisce a little bit. It's been a while since MLS Cup, but we haven't gotten the chance to speak about it yet. And obviously, there's some other things sprinkled in there that have happened. So I think we should just start at the top. I think we just go in chronological order.
Chronological order. All right.
Chronological.
So do we want to start with my flight?
So let's go back to L.A.
Oh no, we have to get to my flight.
You were in the Miami of LAX.
I was
something like that.
No, it was great. No, yeah, I flew down to a friend's wedding in the Turks and Caicos, and I just basically told a bunch of people, yeah, I'm not going to MLS Cup. Like, a lot of people were like, yeah, you're going to MLS Cup. I'm like, no, I'm not. I have to go to a wedding. Like, I'm in a wedding. Like, I'm not even just going to this wedding. I'm in a wedding. But it's like, also, like, it's in Turks and Caicos. Like, there's few places would make this difficult for me on planet Earth. This was definitely one of those. But yeah, I flew down to Miami, told a bunch of people I was in LAX, had my Twitter blow up for a while, and then realized, like, no, I'm not. I'm in Miami. And then flew to Turks and Caicos. It was down there, and everyone was just like, well, I guess if you can't be here, I'm like, yep, that's it.
That was
and
the plan.
Gotta be real with you. I don't know how I would have handled being in Los Angeles for that game. Particularly that game. Like, I think I'd still be in Los Angeles. For like a number of reasons. Have I perished? There's a possibility.
Adam's still in the stadium,
right,
in his seat.
Right, like, no. Have I been committed to the local asylum? There's a good chance of that as well. Most probable is I've been arrested for something. Non-violent, I'm assuming, but definitely peyote induced. Anyway, continue.
No, that's A-okay.
I mean, look, I don't like. There's a couple of moments where I know to myself, this was good that I wasn't there for that. And that for me, it's like, I would have been very sad that I wasn't there if we won, but in the fashion for which we lost, it's like, okay, cool. This is.
I'm gonna go the opposite.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I was thrilled to be there. It was,
I'm sure,
one of the best experiences of my life.
I can't imagine it wouldn't be.
And even with the result and the way everything happened, I mean, it was still just obviously one of the best games in MLS history that we got to witness out there. And, you know, a lot of people agree. A lot of people agree because there was a lot of Union fans out there. We filled almost like 2 or 3 sections of that stadium, and it was just absolutely fantastic. But I don't want to jump too far ahead. First of all, I want to start with the tailgate.
Okay.
Philly Sports Ships put all that on, and it was just a fantastic little event out there. We had about 500 people out at the tailgate in LA, which was really cool. And, you know, we brought the DJ out there from the Sons of Ben tailgates, brought a little bit of the home vibe out to LA.
So wait, is that his first loss while he is DJ at a tailgate before? Because his record was undefeated. I remember him going. Oh, well,
yeah, because we went undefeated at home this year.
Yeah, so that was his first loss.
That was the first time he's seen a loss.
We're just ruining so many things with that game. That game is just okay. Continue. I'm sorry.
No, it was really cool. And you know, we did the march over from the tailgate. And, Jay, I don't know if this made it to social media or if you heard about this, but, you know, we were marching over to the stadium doing the chants. It was a real, like, it was such an electric atmosphere just walking over to the stadium. It was really cool. Everyone was 100% involved. And who was there outside the stadium to greet all the Union fans other than Jay Sugarman, just to shake the people's hands and to just be there and to show he's there to support us as well. So,
you know, there's been always a lot of talk about Sugarman, about his ownership not spending the money and whatever. And look, I've given Jay Sugarman his flowers already a handful of times on this podcast, but
it's well documented.
But I gotta be real with you. I like this version of him that is really embracing team ownership.
Yeah,
like for me, and I'm a above average fan, if you will. So like maybe it's different for me, but like I would be a kid in a candy store if I owned a sports team, and I would just love the fact that anyone would ever want to show up and watch my team. And I think he's there now. Like I think he's, as an owner, he's like he's less of like a shadow owner like he used to be. He's like, I want to be with the people. I want to see the people. I want to be a part of these moments. Because like. What I love about a guy like Jeffrey Lurie is he goes to every tailgate at home.
Yeah?
He walks through every tailgate. He'll stop by. He'll take photos with the fans. And like this is the number one owner in the city. He's owned this team for 30 years. He doesn't have to do this. He does that. That stuff, like especially in the modern era where these guys are a lot more accessible via the internet and all this stuff. I like this version of Sugarman, and that warms my heart. And it makes me feel good about the future of the club. because it just makes me feel like this man's involved and he wants this. Like, he's dedicated to this team being good, you know, and that's exciting.
And so that was really cool to see. And then, you know, being in the stadium, I mean, at least from my perspective, all the LA fans were fairly amicable, and it was a really cool experience. I got to talk to a few of the LA fans, and they were all pretty friendly and not as rough as it could have been. But you know, going into the game, and we can get into the game a little bit. You know, it was. I mean, where do we even start with that? Adam, do you want to disclose to the people that you didn't get to see?
Oh, I didn't see the game. I didn't see. This is a weird thing that has made it hurt more, but somehow has made it slightly okay. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it. So I was in a wedding, and I was a groomsman in a wedding on a beach where obviously I can't be looking at my phone mid-wedding because, like, I'm on the altar. I'm literally on the altar. But on top of that, like, I'm out of the country, so I can't stream it.
Yep.
It's like all of my updates are coming via Twitter, via text messages from home, or, you know, via ESPN update. So and look, trust me, I'm trying to keep track of it as much as humanly possible, but I'm also not trying to be a dick and just look at my phone during one of my best friend's weddings.
It's an unfortunate series of events.
It is the best worst case scenario ever. Yeah. Like, I'm in a beautiful place doing a beautiful event with all the people I care about, but I also have something roughly 4,000 miles away going on really important that I can't physically see, even in the age where we can physically see everything.
Yeah.
So... but no, I never saw the game. And so I'll just take you into the last maybe 10 minutes of that game. I'll fast forward. We'll get past the Elliott scoring.
So we're just gonna skip over.
No, we'll go back. We can actually. The purposes of my discussion, so you can understand like what I was experiencing in that moment, because it's obviously extremely important that everyone knows how I was feeling. But yes, well, I mean, look, it's my podcast. Let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
So, legitimately, goal gets to extra time. It's already 120th minute. I'm like, okay, so we're going to extra time. I'm like, we're going to penalty kicks. This is because it's the logical conclusion of LAFC Philadelphia. If you've watched any of their soccer matches prior to this one. Yeah. They all ended in ties. They all were roughly 3-3. They were all in Los Angeles, by the way. I don't remember the last time LAFC's actually played in Chester, but that's another conversation. Anyway, but it's like all of these games ended roughly the same way. Like, these are the two most evenly matched teams in Major League Soccer. It's a intrinsical fact at this point. We have so much evidence to say that these are head-to-head. They finished with the same points at the end of the season. You know, they finished like they mirror images. Spider-Man theme.
1A, 1B. Yep.
Yeah, Spider-Man meme. But I get to the dinner portion, so I can finally kind of look at my phone now, and I've been keeping track of it. But my friends who know me, and there's a couple friends who know me very well, like, I know my Union fandom. They run up to me and said he scored, and it's Elliott's goal in the 124th minute.
Yeah.
And I gotta be real with you, I didn't move. I did not move from my seat. I didn't cry. I didn't make a noise. I just kind of sat there. They're jumping in the corner up and down, and I'm there like, wow, we did it. Like, it's like one of those things where you just think to yourself, because, like, I'm a wreck the whole day, right? Like every Union fan across the globe, I'm an absolute wreck the whole day leading up to this game, because I'm just like, God, I want it. We deserve it. We have a chance at it. Like, the whole time the Phillies are playing the World Series, like, we're not better than Houston Astros. Could we beat the Houston Astros? Sure. But we're not better than them.
Yeah.
They are infinitely better. They won 20 more games than we did in the regular season. We're not as good as them. The Union were better than LAFC. In my eyes. In my heart, in my eyes, they were. Now, not by a margin that was substantial, but if I said that those two teams played in like 10 games, I expect the Union to win 7 of them.
Yep.
You know, like that's how I felt about that. Because, you know, look, if this is hockey, we won because golden goal. You know?
And if it wasn't for a Gareth Bale being subbed in extra time, you know, maybe we do. And like, so, you know.
But that's, so here's the thing. So I think we won. We've won.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, we have the best defense in the universe. Yep. Like, we need 4 minutes of Matt Real just chopping bodies, and then we're out. Like, that's it, and we're good. We win the MLS Cup. So I go up because it's time to introduce the bridal parties. Mm-hmm. And I do my little dance or whatever with the bridesmaid that I was paired up with at the time, which is one of my good friends. And I get back to my table and I sit down to send out my like tweets of congratulatoriness and start getting my cocktail on.
Yeah.
And penalty kick's already over.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to properly describe the juxtaposition my two emotions did in milliseconds. And I don't know. And obviously it's sports, right? It's fucking sports. It's always never life or death. It's never something to truly be overly emotional about for any particular reason. Like there's just no real authentic reason to be such. But I don't remember many times in my life where just the word devastation wasn't a more applicable descriptor.
And you preface it by saying it's just sports, but to us and to, you know, most of everybody listening right now, it's not just sports because of how much time we've put into this team and how much this team means to us. And I know we're going to get into it a little bit. Yeah. Go ahead. Finish your.
It's. I had to go for a walk. I had to go for a really long walk. Yeah. There were a lot of tears. For like a day. Yeah. Like a day. Like I don't remember ever. Like I'm 32. I don't remember ever being like. I remember being a kid crying because the Eagles lost the NFC Championship game to the Rams in like 2003 or 4.
Yeah,
I remember that. I remember that vividly. 2001. I think that shit was. Anyway, continue. Anyway, I had never felt the way that I had felt there because it was pure. What do I do now? Like, what am I supposed to? What is the thing that I'm supposed to do now? Mm-hmm. To make this not feel like the worst thing in the world now. Like, what am I supposed like what is the emotion? What is the technique? What is the thing that I'm supposed to do now to not make this be really, really fucking terrible to me right now? Yep. There was nothing.
Yep.
It was just and like I told my friend who was the bride and I was just like, I'm very happy I'm at your wedding right now. Yeah. I'm very happy I'm at your wedding right now. Because this is the reason why, Devin, like, I don't know what I do in Los Angeles if I'm physically there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I do if I'm seeing Gareth Bale and all these people celebrate because they have to hold us because we can't leave early because we're a supporters group.
Oh, don't worry about that.
They let us out. They jutted us out. Okay, cool.
I as soon as they rolled, they had this. They had this giant like
inflatable trophy.
No, it was like a huge MLS Cup on wheels. Yeah. And it was and as soon as they rolled that out onto the field, I'm out. I'm out.
Sprinting out of Bank of California Stadium.
I wanted nothing to do with any of that. I was on the bus before they even did the celebration. I wanted nothing to do with that.
I'm telling you this, Devin, right now, especially because as in my Kappa wing position as I did it, I was a target, obviously, because I was the loudest bleeper in the room always. So it's like, no, it would have been. Like, I hate Charlotte, North Carolina now because I saw a 4-0 loss at that damn stadium now. And I don't want to not like Charlotte, but I don't like it now. Yeah. I don't want to have that image of LA in my mind forever because I will tell you that as God's my witness, I never go back.
No,
I'd never return. I would never be able to return.
I see where you're coming from, but I want to say the experience of being there
is worth it.
was so worth it. And
I'm sure.
and I mean, even the pregame. Shout out to the LA supporters, 3252, and everybody involved. Their tifo was absolutely amazing. I don't know if it came through in the broadcast or not, but it was beautiful. And to see that, and then have the whole the pregame experience of that and the atmosphere in the stadium there. I mean, their fans are next level when it comes to stadium atmospheres and to just be there. And I mean, I know it hurt so bad when Gareth Bale scored that tying goal.
And that human of all humans.
As just from a sports fan perspective, the roar of that stadium and like it sucks. And I know, I get it. But I'm
physically gagging right now. I'm actually gagging.
But it's be there was absolutely amazing. And yes, so and to go back to the goal that the Union scored in extra time, everybody in the stands thought we won it. Every single person in the stands thought we won it.
How could you not?
Bawling, crying, hugging random people, the whole 9 yards. Beer flying everywhere. It was a mess. I was soaked. I was soaking wet with alcoholic beverages.
I'm gonna tell you now, my soul would have been snatched.
Yeah.
There was a very, very niche reference I was gonna make, but there was one episode of Dragon Ball Z. Where
bring this back.
Yes. Gohan watches. I think Goku dies. Obviously, he's brought back to life because it's an anime and that's how they do it. But like, Goku dies and Gohan watches it happen. And there's like this image of a bird flying away, and it was supposed to be his innocence flying away for the last time because now he's like, now I will kill things because I saw my father be perished. Like, that would have just been my will. You would have just seen a little pigeon of my will just fly out of that stadium as I sit there and would have been carried out.
Yeah.
Someone would have had to sedate me and carry me out. Because, again, I like my fiance will tell you, anyone who hung out with me will tell you, I did everything I could to be a normal person for the rest of that night. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
It was one of the hardest things ever. Because it's just... I wanted to, like, I did want to be there, and I did want to be a part of that, and I did want that moment for everyone, because, like, I know everyone now, like, I know the front office, I know the owners, I know some of the players, I know Jim, like, I know these people. It's deeper than just rooting for my city. It's like rooting for friends.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'll fast forward. I talked to Jim a week ago at the Sixers game when he rang the bell. Our seats are not that far from each other. And I talked to him and I was just like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "Feel like shit." And I'm like, "Yes, me too. Me too."
Yeah.
Like, yes, sir. I concur. I also don't feel like I couldn't watch sports for a week.
Yeah, I was done.
I couldn't watch sports.
I didn't go on social media for at least days. Yeah, days. I mean, and yeah, I just didn't want any part in any of it after that game. I couldn't. I couldn't.
And like that, it was. That's not how storybooks are written.
Yeah.
That's not how storybooks are written. That's not how the Disney movie goes. Mm-hmm. Right? The plucky underdog that spent the less money, that got the ragtag group of people that you didn't think were good but are actually good, versus the team that is owned by the billionaires and gets the star players from other parts of the globe and World Cup winners and Champions League winners.
Yeah.
Your bunch of dudes are supposed to win that game.
Yeah.
And not only did you not win that game, I've thought about this for about a good 2 weeks. I can't imagine a scenario in sports more devastating.
Yeah. It's the way it all went down.
It's because here's the thing, if we lose 3-0, I have a great time in LA regardless.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a good time in Los Angeles regardless, game sucks, we lose, whatever.
I'm going to do something else. Yeah.
To lose in that fashion is like I said on Twitter, and I am a dramatic person, I know that, but I said on Twitter, I'm never going to be the same after this, and like I feel that in terms of like my viewage of sports has changed after that night. It
was the feeling of we won it, and that's what changed everything. It's yeah,
but like we won it, and we were supposed to, and it like. We didn't get the shield because of the stupid rule that exists nowhere else but MLS. You know, we didn't get the home field advantage. We had to survive COVID the year before. Like, this is your reward, my guy. Yeah. Like, that is Jack Elliott scoring that goal in the 124th minute is supposed to be how the story ends. Yep. And then you get a whistle. You get dejected people in black and gold. You get the one group of cloud blue in the corner having a fucking aneurysm, having a conniption. And it's slow-mo, roll credits. We talk about selling Aronson to Frankfurt. And like, yeah, where are they now 5 years later? Yeah. Like, yeah, Jim's now coaching the U.S. national soccer team. Like, Quinn Sullivan now plays at Celtic. Like, all of this shit happened. Alejandro Bedoya's in the Ring of Honor. Like, everyone became a coach. Like, that's how the movie's supposed to end.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Anyway, did anything else happen?
No, and plus it was the backup keeper and who it was.
Disney throws the script out.
Yeah.
Disney throws that script out. It's too cheesy. It's too stupid. It's too bleeping. And it's like, congratulations to Los Angeles Football Club. Just like, that's all I got. I don't hate them. I don't dislike them. I have no real feelings towards them. The people who threw beer at my players, I don't like you. But outside of that, like, I don't got ill will.
Yeah, I didn't even get
that. Was stupid. But like, it happens almost at like 80% of stadiums, and it was
bad.
It was bad.
Like, it wasn't
really
one
bad.
or two people.
No, it was bad, and they were all caught on camera, and I hope they were disciplined. And if not, shame on LAFC for not doing that. But like, I got no qualms with Los Angeles Football Club. They've been a pinnacle of success in Major League Soccer for the last 4 or 5 years. So them finally getting their first MLS trophy or first MLS Cup, not a shocker.
Yeah,
that's not a shocking thing to see. It just, that's the most devastating.
From a
loss.
neutral perspective and from an MLS perspective, it was the best MLS Cup you could have possibly asked for.
Possibly,
as far as
Also, the fact that it was the lead into the World Series really worked hell with those numbers, didn't it?
Yeah.
Garver's like, so Philadelphia's got to watch this before they watch the World Series? I guess we're going to get that Nielsen rating this week. Like, it was like, that was the best case scenario for Major League Soccer in every case of people. Everyone thinks it's New York City. It's not.
Yep.
Because they don't actually have that big of a supporter fan base outside of the people that actually show up at that stadium.
Yep.
But you're not going to get those people interested. Like, that's the thing about New York is not a crackable market for soccer. People in New York already have their bleeping teams. Most of them reside in countries that are not this one.
Yeah.
But New York is like you might get some Enros, but you're not going to get more New York City football fans from them winning MLS Cup. Yeah. You have a chance to make Enros in Philadelphia by winning MLS Cup. Yep. So ultimately, Garber might have even benefited more from Philadelphia winning.
And that's the part that hurts for me the most is, and we were talking about it a little bit before the show, but we had the most amount of eyes on this team in Philadelphia than we've had the entire existence. And of course, it's a final. You're going to have that.
No, but this was the moment.
But this was that moment. And if you're somebody who... and my hope is that even if you're not a soccer fan and you were watching this game, you saw how exciting it was, and it doesn't matter what the result was. It doesn't matter that we lost in the end. I think it still did the job as far as being a very, very exciting match to watch. But it's the point of, like, if we could have just brought a championship home and with the Phillies losing and kind of the way everything else happened.
No, this was your moment.
That's the part that hurts the most.
This was your moment.
This could have been the year that the Union really take a step forward. And I mean, we were talking about it before.
Yeah.
It would have changed the impact of the future of this club.
Yeah.
Forever. if you win that game.
Now, if you can put a saving grace on it, at least maybe the way that the game was played and how it was done will leave a lasting impression in people's minds, regardless of how it occurred. Because I mean, there's no hyperbole. That was the greatest MLS Cup final of all time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even.
I mean,
there's no close second.
The conversations were being had if it was the best MLS game ever, like in the history of MLS.
Why couldn't it have been?
And yeah, I mean,
this might be the first intercontinental rivalry in Major League Soccer, because obviously El Tráfico will always be their biggest rivalry, but like. There is probably no team that plays LAFC as well as the Philadelphia Union does time after time after time.
We've proven
in their building.
Yeah.
In LA. It's not even one of these things where it's like a home and home situation. We played, I think, 3 of the last 4 matches against them in LA. We've tied, I think, all of them.
Yeah.
Like this, in the weird way soccer works, this doesn't qualify as a regular loss. It's a penalty loss. We tied them.
Yes.
And we were the only team to make them drop points after leading in the 80th minute all season at home.
And yeah, exactly. And it's not just 0-0, 1-1 losses. It's
3-3.
It's exciting ass games, and that's what matters.
Like it took a man who's won Champions League to beat us.
Yeah.
Like it took a dude who literally just left Real Madrid to win this match, to tie the game, to put it to penalties, to win it. Like that's how incredible this story
Somebody
is.
who is now at the World Cup on a much larger
he's leaving
stage.
now.
I know, but he's the star of that team.
Yo, he is Wales.
Yeah.
He is the best player possibly in the history of a nation.
Yeah. And that's
what it took.
Yeah.
That's what it took to beat you. That's what it took to put you in a position to lose. And then to get hoodwinked by John McCarthy at the end. Like the whole thing is just absolutely comical on its face. Yep. But look, it sucks, but it is the realness.
And yeah, and we've gotten far away from enough from it now. We're a month out from it where we can look back on it and have these feelings about it where, listen, it was such a fantastic time.
I've been looking at the stats the whole time I've been here.
The team put up a performance that we can be proud of.
We had 17 shots. So we only had 3 shots on goal. All of them went in.
We had 3 shots on goal.
We had 17
game?
shots, only 3 on goal. All 3.
Oh wow.
They had 8 on goal. Andre Blake. So like their goalie didn't do. The only goal he did anything was McCarthy. The goalie for LA broke his leg and got a red card.
Yep. Which, I mean, thoughts with him, because that was not even joking. That was
it was horrific. It was gruesome.
And the fact that he would have been playing in the World Cup right now.
Yeah, also gruesome. Sucks. I feel so bad for him. Like I don't. It's one of those things where obviously you have to give him the red card because of the nature of the tackle on Corey, for which that was. And we can talk about just I'm Miss Corey.
Yeah,
I'm a Miss Corey.
Me too.
We'll talk about that in a second. I'm a Miss Corey. But yeah, that's just, man, that game. I can't, I won't, I shall, forever and ever and ever. Amen. Okay, next.
It feels like it's so far away. I've been watching so much soccer the past 3 weeks.
Never going to be far. It's never going to be far enough.
Yeah.
It's never going to be far enough. You are going to think about that for the rest of your life.
100%.
There's no other solution to it. You're going to think about it for the rest of your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
the Union can win next year. You're still going to think about that for the rest of your life.
100%.
That's the crazy part to me, is if they lost 6-0, I get over it. This is a core memory now.
Yeah.
This is a core memory in anytime that badge of LAFC is going to be shown to me for the rest of my life. Memory.
Instant flashback to that.
Instant pain. Continue.
No, I mean that's. I think we can move on from this game.
Oh, yeah,
I think
done.
we've done.
My therapy session got out.
Yeah. I'm
tears. I'm thankful to have it.
We've made it.
No. I was on the break a couple times there. I ain't gonna lie. But no, I think we made it through.
I'm kidding. So yeah, the game happened. We made our way back to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And I guess, I don't know if we're going in chronological order. I guess the next piece of news that happened after that was the Paxton. Was it the Paxton?
Paxton was before the Cup. They sold Paxton before the Cup.
That's right. So if we're going chronological, I've already screwed this up.
Yeah, you're bad at this. No, it's fine.
Paxton gets sold to Frankfurt for $4 million,
which is, I mean, for a guy who played 20 minutes the whole season. maybe 30.
No, come
That's
on.
a joke. I mean, it's a joke, but it's not. It's a half joke because he did not play a lot.
But that's why.
No, that's why he didn't sell for $9 million.
He wasn't going to find any playing time.
No. You had to get him out. I mean, like, it's not like you had to get him out of here, but it's just like you're going to stymie his development if you don't.
No, and I'll fact
he's good enough to play. He was already good enough to play at the major league level at a lot of other different clubs. You just had an MVP candidate in front of him for most of the season.
And to be honest, this is honestly a move where maybe it's Ernst Tanner. Somebody looks at it and says he needs to get playing time, and he's not going to get playing time.
He does need to get playing time, yeah.
And Frankfurt were what the Union were calling a sister team a couple of years ago. I don't know what that was. Some kind of partnership.
Okay, so Frankfurt is Philadelphia's sister city.
There it is.
So I think the idea of a sister team isn't far off there.
Okay, so I'm sure there's ties between Ernst and some of the people over there, but it gets him into a place where he has a better chance. I don't know. Do you think he has a better chance of playing time in Frankfurt? I don't know, because I mean I'm sure there's gonna be competition there. Frankfurt aren't a horrible team.
No, but
I don't know their roster well enough to say yes or no.
Yeah,
but,
see, that's also. I mean, this is the honesty of the podcaster. I don't know. I haven't been following Frankfurt hard enough to know if they have a bunch of number 10s that'll be ahead of him, or a bunch of midfielders that'll be ahead of him that are truly elite. But go ahead.
No, I mean, I was just gonna say. I mean, their average market value of all their players is there's probably 15 or so people ahead of him. So, I mean, you would hope
market value
doesn't mean much. I'm just trying to look for
but he's
simple,
also what, 19?
Yes, and so you would hope that he can grow through that system, and you never know.
And they got B teams. Maybe he goes out on loan somewhere. But I think
he's a replacement for somebody, as I'm reading here. He is looking to be the replacement for Kamada.
Okay.
But there it is.
But he's getting replaced. So, look. So, I mean, again, who are we to question?
Yes.
Yeah, who mere mortals are we to question these transfer markets? But, yeah, you're dealing with a situation where...
Okay, they're attacking midfielder. His contract expires at the end of the season.
Okay. So you're dealing with a situation where this is definitely going to probably going to give him some time.
Yeah.
If not, he's going to at least be probably in the 18 more often than not. And... gets him his exposure to Europe early, especially at a young, impressionable era. And people love Americans right now to come to their country, because then it gets Americans to view their teams. It helps.
Yep, exactly. And
hence Venezia.
I think it is a good move for all involved.
All parties involved, I think it's a good move for, because you need to free up some space on the Union too, because it sucks when you have that talented of a person behind a person like Gazdag. But you also have talent behind that. You still have McGlynn here. You still have Sullivan here. So it is not that you've lost, but it's not like you've lost substantially, or that you don't have replacements or such. So, good for him. Good for him. Good for the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
We could jump around a little bit here. We can go to the Corey Burke.
While we're on the subject,
Corey Burke, I believe, is he just out of contract?
I believe it was the end of his contract, and the Union did not pick up his option. They tried to renegotiate, and then I think Red Bull just offered him more money.
Yeah,
I think that's literally what happened.
And so we continue. The strikers from Union going to Red Bull.
Well, look, and here's the thing. I think it works for both parties, because I believe Corey has proven at this point that he deserves to possibly start somewhere, or at least given the opportunity to start more often.
He's proven that he can play a role well, and he can be one of the best players on the team in that role.
Yeah.
And he can go do that there.
And I've been watching Red Bull with a curiosity because of all of my compadres who are Red Bull fans. And yeah, they need a striker. Yeah, they need a consistent striker, especially someone who has the possibility of some hold-up play, and that's exactly what Corey Burke gives you. So I think it's a perfect fit for Red Bull from a player perspective. I think Corey is a perfect fit for what they're trying to accomplish there, and I do believe Corey deserves some more money. I do believe Corey deserves to secure his bag, especially at this portion of his career. And I also believe that Corey deserves an opportunity to see if he's a starter in this league. He is. He was an indomitable super sub. I think a lot of people were curious what was going to happen after we lost Sergio Santos, if we were going to have goal production off the bench, and Corey had that in spades. And what I'm curious to see if the Union feel the way that they do about Chris Donovan, to say that he's going to be the number one guy off the bench attacking wise, or if another person comes in. I'd be shocked if Ernst doesn't kick the tires on somebody, at least, And
we still didn't get to the transfer window for Europe yet, and we got to get
exactly.
to that.
And we got to get past the World Cup.
Who knows what players get brought in over the course of this offseason, if any at all, and who moves on as well. I mean, I think there's definitely been some conversations about that. So,
and the beauty of this World Cup is the fact that it's right before a transfer window. A lot of these people are
their values are
that's what I'm saying.
rocketing.
World Cup always brings out 5 to 6 people that you're like, who the bleep is this guy? And you're like, okay, now he just got signed by Juventus. Like that's always what happens. And there's been a couple of people in this World Cup who have made some stars, a couple of teams that have made some runs in here that have got some respect. Shout outs to clubs like Saudi Arabia and Ghana and Cameroon and all these guys in Japan who are definitely getting some more looks now, probably. And some of their players are getting at least a once over where they weren't because they didn't necessarily have the stage. But yeah, in Ernst we trust. I have zero reason to not believe in Mr. Tanner at this stage of the game. So we can just keep going.
Yep. We just keep it moving.
Yeah.
We now look forward to next season.
Yes.
And, I think you might have some news there, Adam.
Your transitions. Why am I the only person that understands the beauty of transitions on this podcast? I've always wondered that. Maybe it's my radio background. I don't know. It's not great. Anyway. So I announced on my various social media platforms that I have retired as head capo for the Sons of Ben. I want to say first and foremost, this is not my fiance's doing. She wants everyone to know that. She's been very adamant about people being like, it's not because we're getting married. And it's like, it's a little bit because we're getting married, but like not because she told me I had to stop. It's just I'm a logical human, and I have 2 weddings coming up in the next calendar year, and that's gonna mean a decent amount of time away from Subaru Park and the Sons of Ben, and it felt to me still being head capo whilst not being there at more of like a 75% game clip just kind of felt disingenuous, and it felt like it was time for me to it's a step down. I'm stepping down. I'm still stop being a capo. There's no guild,
I don't think you could ever go to a game and just
No, I could. I could definitely just I'd still be animated, but I would never. But I don't have to lead cheers anymore. I think I could do.
No, I think there's part of you though that's just the capo is ingrained in you now to the point where it's not the same anymore.
No, but it might be. But I think I'm going to enjoy the difference.
Yes,
I think it's time for me to start enjoying the difference. Which is just how good this team is now. I actually kind of want to watch them. Yeah. But no, I'm still going to be a capo. I probably will do some work during the Champions League just to kind of, make sure that goes as smoothly as possible.
You're like the cup match player who never gets any regular season play, but they get subbed in the cup matches.
Yeah, no, I'm Udonis Haslem in year 15 for the Miami Heat. They have me on roster, but they play me very seldomly. But I'll be there. So I'll be at matches. I'm still sitting in the river end. I'm actually going to sit in my seat. Again, I'll be back in row P, back in 136. Wow. Shout out to the mighty 136 chambers. But I thoroughly enjoyed doing this. And then again, I'm still not done per se doing it, but I thoroughly enjoyed leading. I loved, getting people together and getting this team together. I love my capos to death because they went to war for me a lot. They went to battle for me. They listened to my crazy ass and a lot of the thoughts that I had. And most of the time they did it without hesitation. So, it was it was something that I will always cherish. And it's something that I was very thankful that people were very accepting of me getting into this role. there was a weird arrogance associated with being head capo. There's like it's like you have to be something.
Yeah.
You have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
And despite what a lot of people think about me, this doesn't necessarily come easy to me. I'm not naturally a people person. I'm not naturally like I'm an animated person, but I'm not necessarily a people person. So this is something that I kind of discovered about myself along the way too, which was really cool. But yeah, I had the best time. I hope whomever, if it's one person, if it's a bunch of people, if it's a committee, however we fill it in the future, I hope to help them out. I hope to, push people into the next era. And I hope we are better. Like I hope someone better comes along. Like that's my goal. That's my hope. I hope that, someone as good, if not better, comes along and takes this group to the next level and leaves a lasting impression, because I'm an African American gentleman, and one thing about our culture is it's definitely about trying to leave the next generation something better. It's our culture is built on revolution, and what is the beauty of that is the additions to those revolutions. Yep. So I hope that my addition is there and that we can get another one moving forward.
Yes. And of course, I know you don't need me to tell you this.
Yeah.
But you have, of course, left a very lasting impact on this group. You're somebody who has welcomed so many people, including myself, into this group and have made so many of us feel welcomed. And thank you for your time, of course. Obviously, you're not leaving. I know that. I get it, and you put yourself out there a lot, and it's tough, and yeah, it's hard to put it into words, but you are somebody who is definitely ingrained into the Sons of Ben history for sure. So.
Yeah, it's don't let my imposter syndrome totally kick in. It's look, again, it's a temporary hiatus. It's a lot of much needed downtime because I am tired. I got to be real with you, and I'm still part of EMLS, so you'll still see me streaming and advertising fine video game products everywhere.
Yes,
I'm still with the Phoenix and all that, so I'm here.
Yeah,
I'm here. But, just taking a new metamorphosis.
Yes.
I like to call it Pokemon evolution. It's my second stage. I'm in my Charmander phase. Charmeleon. I'm Charmeleon. Yes.
There it is. Do I transition into mine as well?
Absolutely. This is a podcast. Devin, I hear we have some news, Devin. What's up, Mr. Garcia? I didn't
necessarily put it on social media.
No, yeah. You're a bit less vain than I am.
Which I am not one to do very often. But I am also taking a step back. Some of you might have already heard by now, but I'm taking a step back off of my tailgate position, and my good friend Kelsey Luckenbach, who's been helping out a ton this season, and I'm sure many of you have seen her around at the tailgates and whatnot.
Incredibly talented woman.
She will be taking over for me, and I'm, again, just like Adam, I will still be helping out and making sure that everything goes smoothly. We
don't trust people.
My two best friends are taking over the position I was running before, so it's not like I can just up and leave that. Cause, so I'm still gonna be involved, still gonna be at the tailgate, still gonna be at games, and we'll see what the future holds. We're still gonna keep recording some voices. We're still gonna.
No, let me give you your response. I was a big. I've been to tailgates for. God, I would say since 2013, I've been going to tailgates. Mm-hmm. Back when we were still at the broken down clubhouse that I think Corner Creeps have adopted and made their own little home. I've been there through a lot of it. I've been there through a lot of controversies. I've seen the behind the scenes, a lot of what happens with the tailgates. Your tailgates were the most memorable ones we've ever had, and maybe that has something to do with you. I don't know. Could be. Could have been the fact that we were good at soccer. I don't know.
Yeah, but maybe it's because the team was also there.
But there was what I knew for sure was you were going to work your ass off, and do what it took to make that thing happen. And it's a weird thing. There's not really glory in running tailgates. You know, that is a true labor of love. Like, that's something where you're like, I just want to make sure that these people are having a good time. It's a volunteer gig. You don't get money for this. And you work as hard, if not harder than any person in the general group on just like I gotta get fucking hot dog buns. Like, you know, like I gotta make sure 80 kegs of, you know, yards or whatever is available. You know, like all of that was incredibly important. And I want to say that I have a lot of confidence in your understudies. I know them very well, and I definitely believe that they have studied under the wing.
Yes.
And it's going to continue. It's going to be a great thing. But like, look, we're Ring of Honor candidates, and that's it. I don't know how else to describe it. This is us jerking each other off. It's going to be a good time.
Right. No, and I do want to say, the past few years that I've been involved in this, I have seen things in myself that I did not see before.
Yeah.
And I used to be a very awkward and shy kid who did not know what the fuck to do, and I was bumbling around this place and you know, getting involved with the Sons of Ben and getting involved with tailgates and being able to meet all the fantastic people that I've been able to meet over the past couple of years has just made such an impact on me and has allowed me to grow in other areas of my life as well. So it's been a really fantastic journey so far, and it's not over yet. We're still going to keep going. We still got a whole podcast to record today, so let's get into some other things here.
What else?
We're just gonna go against our chronological order.
Your entire plan fell apart. Like, the best made plans never survive first contact with the enemy.
And here we are. We could do our alumni section because Brendan's been doing things over there.
Yes.
Today is Tuesday, and we were able to see the U.S. go through the knockouts, and of course, Brendan coming in for Pulisic at halftime, I believe, and getting a good 45 minutes in there and looking the part as you know, Brendan's done since his time at the Union. He's always looked the part, and that's something we can always say. I mean, seeing him at Salzburg, that's something we said. Seeing him at Leeds, we said, and seeing him play in the World Cup, it's been really cool to see that. I saw there was a piece they did on Brendan Aronson. I think it might have been yesterday. They aired it on Fox, and you know, they got his dad in there and explaining his upbringing and going over like how him and Paxton used to play in the basement of his house and stuff.
Right, and that was a really nice piece. That was very well done.
And so it's been awesome seeing somebody that's so close to us and who we all feel so close to, being able to play for the U.S. team and on that stage and coming out with a win today, which. The style of play that they played in the second half didn't necessarily suit Aronson's talents.
What, parking the bus?
Yeah. But, you know, he got a few good moments there, and it was cool to see. So, unfortunately, it looks like Bizo hasn't gotten any time in the first two games for Cameroon yet. We'll see if he gets anything on this last one.
That'd be nice, but I mean, what are you going to do? Right backs are tough. Like, that's not a position that usually changes so often. Usually your back line... It's very rarely that you do anything with your back line unless you're Cameron Vickers-Carter, and then you get in because Walker Zimmerman... Literally, the reason why the Iran game matters is because Walker Zimmerman can't keep his feet to himself. That's literally it. But anyway.
It seemed like they already had a game plan going into that game where they were going to start Carter Vickers and then bring in Zimmerman to put five of the back there, and I think Greg just went for it way too early.
Way too early. Look, I am a fierce defender of Major League Soccer. That was not a good day for Major League Soccer.
No.
Every member
that is a Major League Soccer move.
No, every member of Major League Soccer that came onto the pitch was a net negative for the United States national team. Like, Kellen Acosta did nothing. Shaq Moore.
Oh my, Shaq Moore.
Shaq Moore was on an island by himself with 300 yards around him and kicked the ball out of bounds, looked around and said, "Oh snap."
Yeah, no.
Like, I get it. It's the World Cup, but the situational awareness on Shaq Moore, I'm like, where's John Brooks? You're really telling me John Brooks was not? Where's DeAndre Yedlin? He's on your bench. You're going to tell me that Yedlin, a person who's played in a World Cup before, couldn't clear the ball for me, my guy. Yeah. Like, MLS looked horrific. And my question to the audience is, what does Jesus Ferreira got to do to play?
What does Gio Reyna got to do to play?
Both of these questions.
I look at the Gio Reyna and Brendan Aronson thing where, like, I feel like Brendan Aronson should have started the game against Iran today.
Over Timothy Way?
Gio or Brendan should have started today.
Over Timothy Way. Because you're never taking out Pulisic.
Obviously, that's the only reason that Brendan got time today.
Yeah.
But
that's what I'm saying. Pulisic is pencil. You can put him in pet in every
What
lineup.
I'm going to say is I could also see, I know it's a young squad, so it's hard to say it like this, but I could see Greg being like, Brendan's a young kid. Gio's also very young. It's the World Cup. You don't want to bring on your young guys in a moment they're not ready for.
Musa is turned 20 years old today.
It's probably a bad argument.
The Musa turned 20 years old today.
I'm not sure why I'm standing here trying to defend Greg Berhalter.
Like, this is what I'm saying. No,
I don't want to.
He had a bad game.
No, yeah.
Triple G had a bad game.
Greg Berhalter had a bad group stage, and the bad part of it is that they made it to the knockouts, so he's not going anywhere. And the bad part of it is Greg Berhalter could very well be our coach in 2026.
No, here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is the gift and the curse. If the Netherlands expose you, and I think the Netherlands could expose you, maybe he doesn't survive. Because I believe everyone else. Because here's the thing. We're not the smartest people in the room, Devin. I have to break it to you. We're not the smartest people in the room.
Damn.
So I'm assuming someone else at U.S. Soccer is also seeing the thing that we're very obviously seeing, that this team scored 2 goals in the entire group stage and made it through.
And I get that that's a bad side of this team as far as attacking goes, but
Great for defense.
Greg did not do anything to help that problem at all.
Germany scored 7 goals in a... Sorry. Who scored 7 goals in a single day? Spain.
Yeah.
Single game, scored 7
It
goals.
was against Costa Rica, but
All right, and here's the thing. In retrospect, Wales, Iran, and England, all very tough opponents. Oh, they're all very good at soccer. You know, they're all very good. They have a lot of people who are very good at soccer. So I get why that was moderately difficult. But like, look, and this is the realness about this. This team is not that good. It's not to say that they can't be good in the future. It's not to say they can't grow into being good. They're not that good. But could they mess around and make it to a quarterfinal? Maybe. That's the beauty of the tournament.
Right now, the odds of them facing the quarterfinal would be
Who?
Argentina.
They lost to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And
they always choke. So.
That's what I'm saying. They lost to Saudi Arabia. I don't know. Like, this tournament in particular has made me believe it's an any given Sunday tournament.
Yeah,
it
true.
really is.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever. I mean, look, if you're truly terrible, chances are you're on your way home now.
Yeah.
You know, Qatar, you don't got to go far. That's fine. You got to go down the street. You all live in Doha
Qatar.
anyway. Except for actually none of you are actually from Qatar. You're all transplants. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys don't got to go far. You know, shouts out to South Korea. The hell happened? What's your dude's son?
Well, he was
What's
injured.
with my guy?
He wasn't 100%.
Look, it's rough.
They had a good game today.
It did.
Was that today?
No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday? Yeah.
They lost. But it was a good game. It was a good game, but no, they lost. Africa had a particularly good showing
Senegal?
in this World
Today?
Cup. Senegal did. Ghana did
That
well.
game was really exciting.
Senegal
actually.
was great. Senegal's been great. Morocco, not too much.
And without
Tunisia,
Mane,
not too much.
too.
No Mane. Yeah, that's what I meant. No Sadio Mane to make that. Egypt's over there seething. Just being like, we could have done so much here.
So if the U.S. make the knockouts and both Canada and Mexico don't, does that mean anything to you?
No.
Okay.
No. It means something because Mexico is really bad at world football.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. They don't win at world football. They can do CONCACAF football really fucking well.
A lot of countries in the world could probably do CONCACAF football very well.
But you would imagine it eventually would translate on a global scale, and it has not yet. Mexico, what was it? They had the longest streak of consecutive losses in the World Cup. It was like 9. Yeah, I think it was the longest, and I believe some country was about to tie it, and they didn't. They got 8 in this World Cup. But yeah, Mexico's like they are not good at world football. And I'm not to say that America or Canada are, because there's Canada gets a free pass because this is their first World Cup since all of us have been alive. and they have a bunch of kids, and they'll be back, and they will be stronger, and they will be scary for years to come. I believe Canada is going to be, by the standards of CONCACAF, a world power very shortly, because their immigration, the way that they develop people now, the way that they develop talent, the way that they're putting energy into their soccer programs, both men and women's side, Canada is going to be a problem for a long time. That's a sporting nation.
Yeah. And to jump a little bit here, watching this World Cup and just thinking about 2026 is just, it gets me so excited.
No, you should be excited.
Because, I mean, I know we will provide such a better atmosphere than what Qatar currently has in some of their stadiums.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it is.
It's interesting.
It is very, and there's a lot of interesting things, but we're not going to get into it too much.
Look, moral of the story is, we know FIFA be FIFA. This World Cup probably shouldn't happen in a nation that was going to be this controversial, but also maybe it shouldn't happen in America because we're also controversial. Anyway, the real answer to all this is, I hope no one gets arrested that doesn't deserve to get arrested, is really my main point of this World Cup. I hope everyone just gets to go home. Like, that's my point. I don't want no situations where we're asking Joe Biden to get some citizens out of Doha. I'm just saying, let's get everybody to come back. But look, I hope I wasn't rooting for a bad World Cup. Some people are actively out here hoping that Qatar failed at this World Cup, and their team certainly fucking did. Like, their collection of, and that story is funny to me, because they were like, we've been training these guys for 12 years. Ever since we got the bid, we got these 12 guys together. They've been living and sleeping in the same house for 12 years developed for this World Cup. And they were abysmal. Yeah. They were so bad at soccer. There's sometimes a host nation doesn't have to actually qualify, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just Brazil was going to make this World Cup wherever on planet Earth this was being held.
Yeah.
South Africa kind of needed this one to qualify. It might not have been in the World Cup if it wasn't hosting it.
Yeah.
This is the greatest example of this team would have never even sniffed the World Cup if they weren't even hosting it.
Yeah.
They were just not for a second good at soccer.
Well, as soon as they lost the first game against Ecuador, it was all downhill from there.
And Ecuador's not good.
No.
Ecuador is delightful. It's the most mediocre South American team of all time, is Ecuador. Yeah. Ecuador scores 2 goals every 12 games.
And they couldn't. Yeah.
And Qatar was just we got nothing. This is the first game of the whole tournament. Home. We got every predominant member of our country in this stadium right now. Shit to bed against Valencia. Man's 75 years old. Scored a brace. But yeah, moral of the story is 2 parts. 1, the U.S. will be better in 2026. Let's enjoy the house money that we're playing with now by even being in the knockout stage, because it's arguably we weren't good enough to be in the knockout stage, and we are because of circumstances and soccer being soccer. I hope we don't get boat raced by the Netherlands, but it wouldn't shock me if we did. And I hope everyone goes home properly. This World Cup exposed a lot of things and a lot of different cultures and peoples and backgrounds and religions and all that. And duh is the answer to that. You could have seen that shit from Sputnik. But I do believe that the whole world deserves a World Cup. So I do believe it deserves to be in places, but I also do believe that FIFA needs to be a little bit more selective about their processes too. All these things are true.
Yes. You could very easily bring soccer to the Middle East in
not
different ways.
And not do that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be Israel or any of those other things, especially Israel's in UEFA, but we'll have that conversation later. Anyway.
What do
you want to talk about now?
What else we got? I don't know.
So what are we going to talk? Oh, I got some... No, I actually don't have that much esports news, to be honest with you. I thought I did.
Have you gotten FIFA?
Me personally, I haven't. I was waiting. I'm being lazy and waiting for EMLS to send me a code. Until I get a code, I'm not doing anything.
I got it, but
it's my job.
I haven't been playing
it
much.
Code.
I've been playing a detrimental amount of Football Manager.
So I got that on Game Pass.
Oh yeah,
it's on Xbox Game Pass. It's like FIFA. It's like Football Manager 22. Like who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
But I'm afraid to play it. I feel like it's just too detailed.
It is.
My brain wants months to do all of that.
It's a lot, but I've been playing with a couple friends online, and so you can start leagues with other people, and so that's been really helping provide some more external motivation to do this.
I got the new Call of Duty, so I've been playing like Escape from Tarkov.
I won Champions League with Wolves, so I don't know.
What the? Okay. No, it's a video game. Okay.
Yeah. No. Anyway. Yeah. So I guess not much video game news there.
No, we got nothing.
Any Overwatch? Anything going on over there? No, nothing.
No. Oh, real quick, everyone's gone. So like the Overwatch League is like the free agency is crazy right now. Everyone has been let go. Carpe's gone.
Oh wow.
Carpe left for Valorant, so he's not coming back. So he's like he left the league. He switched leagues. He wasn't getting that enough playtime. MM3 was definitely getting all the playtime over him. But like anyone who wasn't associated with like tier T1 for the Philadelphia Fusion are just gone now.
Gotcha.
So it's like they're just starting from brand scratch. But they're not the only team. Like all the North America teams, and like I think there's something about visa issues and all that. Like the Korean teams are trying to keep Korean rosters. And North American teams are trying to keep it within like people from actual North America, so they don't have to like deal with as much bullshit like that they felt during the pandemic, trying to get people from France to get to Korea and all that stuff during a pandemic. But anyway, so the Fusion's roster is going to be completely different in 2023. I'm excited to see what's that like. But I've been playing Overwatch 2, been enjoying it, so no complaints over here. But yeah, that's pretty much all the video game stuff I got.
Cool. Well, I think that kind of wraps up a pretty packed podcast today.
I mean, it needed to be.
Yeah, it did. It did.
There was much to cover.
We will be back soon. I don't know how soon, but we'll be back soon. It is the off season, so.
Yeah, no, I would say expect us maybe twice a month for the short term.
Yeah.
We'll try to get in. Obviously, during Christmas and all that, you ain't even listening to podcasts anyway. So why would we waste our breath? Maybe a couple of you driving to your parents' house will listen to us. Yeah. But here's the thing. Let me know. DM me. If Adam, we need another pod for whatever particular reason, we can obviously figure out shit to talk about. I can talk forever. So, but yeah. Other than that, we'll be around. Me and Devin still like doing this. We still like talking to you people. Yes. And for some reason, half of y'all still like us. So,
Only half?
No. The other half, I think, hate listen. I think we have a good portion of the audience that
writing down notes and scratching on pads while they're listening.
They just want to listen just to have things to make fun of us about later. Which is fair. Yeah, that's why people watch Skip Bayless. I understand. That's pretty much it.
Never mind. I'm not going to say.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Alrighty. Well, I guess that wraps up another episode. I think this might have been 112.
Oh, the club in Atlanta. From the boys 112, we from the A's. Come see Pete and Charlie. We don't play. Okay.
You can keep going. We'll outro to that.
No, we can't because we'll definitely get monetized eventually if I go for over 4 seconds. I think that's the rule.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody for listening.
Okay.
You can only do 4 seconds.
I can only do 4 seconds. It's like Key and Peele. 3 pumps. Only 3 pumps.
Do you remember those little chip tune things that you put the thing in it and it would play 30 seconds of a song?
Yes. What was the purpose of that? That's another podcast. But we'll talk about the hip clips.
The hip clips.
It was like Mattel hip clips or some shit. Where it's you want 30 seconds of NSYNC for no reason? We'll cut out this little piece of cardboard and put it into a plastic container.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Kids,
man.
I want to explain to my kids my childhood, and they're gonna look at me the same way I looked at my grandparents about World War II. They're gonna be like, how did you primitive beasts live with dial-up internet? What the hell was that war-torn life?
Oh, no. Alrighty. And 2000 is just as far away from the kids as it was for us in when we were in school looking back on 1960, 1970. So,
No, that's real. No, look. A lot of us are parents now. I don't know if you caught the memo.
I've gotten the memo.
So this is when our kids are just so what was life like in the before times? It's just let me tell you about the CD.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll see you soon. And
wash your hands.